Hey, 8:10, 73 degrees here in the greatest city on earth, Oneonta, Alabama. It is the greatest county on earth, Blunt. And Alabama, we're glad to have you. Thursday, July 14th. And now, almost like, when a man like this walks in the room, you feel like you got to stand up or rise or something, right? I mean,
we need a special song for him.
We do. We do not have a special song for the city manager of Oneonta, Ed Lowe. But welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
You're a busy little bee.
Absolutely. It's a good thing, too.
You've been busy. Well, as long as I've known you, you've been busy. But you've been busy over the last year. I mean, you're making me tired. I'm not even running after you.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of self-perpetuating. It's always a good thing to be busy, but the excitement just drives the process.
Yeah. So tell me what's going on. Give us an update. We haven't
State
seen
of
you.
the state. A lot of things. I guess we'll start and go backwards maybe. Tuesday night, council meeting went well. After the council meeting, we had a scheduled work session with the school board, and very productive. I appreciate those guys being agreeable to work with. We've had an issue on school board funding we've been working on for actually a couple of years. How do we address our local funding stream to the Oneonta City School? What was pretty neat about it was they had a request for $430,000 to be in a line item. We actually had a proposal at $435,000. So now, divine intervention, I think I heard mentioned there
exactly.
Before the meeting, but nevertheless, we're on the same page. So, we came to a preliminary agreement. We just now got to work out the details, and our budget starts in October.
Okay, yeah.
And so, essentially, what that will provide, as I understand it, although the city will not dictate how it's spent, it's just a cash disbursement monthly to the school. But I think that'll provide a couple of teacher units and some competitive salary adjustments for some other things they need. So
maybe help with some technology, maybe, or
Correct.
other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, good deal. Well, that sounds awesome. I love it when things come together, you know what I mean? And this is part of this growth process.
It is, and from a community perspective, that's how we prosper, is partnering with the team members, really, the leaders on every level.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we knew you had a magic plan up your sleeve, you know what I mean? Because you don't get where you are in life without having pulled some magic out of your hat.
And a rabbit or two.
Timing is everything. We're seeing we slow and steady growth.
Yeah.
Our revenues have increased, like I say, steadily over the last couple of years. We came out of the Great Recession in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And I think that's attributable to the conservative nature of how our local government works. But we have, we've endeavored to recruit some new business, and that really is the foundation to our financial success.
No doubt.
As we add businesses, we add revenue.
Well, what's on the forefront? I mean, what's coming? What we see progress. I mean, it was really crazy. We talked about this over the last few months. Everywhere you turn around, something new was going up. Somebody was updating, upgrading. Of course, Wallace State came into town. We all threw a big party for that, as we should. And
sure.
So I see other stuff happening downtown and beyond. Give us a little layout of what you can say.
I'd be glad to, and let's start with Wallace State. I actually met with them this week too. They were also present in our work session because they're going to be an integral part of this education growth. But also from an economic development standpoint, they have a full slate of students now, but the fall class is already. I mean, they're 170 plus registered, and they really have just now started.
That's cool.
Now that don't count. We're working on how to incorporate the welding training in there and the CDL stuff. We're prepping some space for expansion. So, and we're still working on the permanent site, the education facility, so to speak, the academic classroom part module of it. We're still working on plans for that.
So you can't really reveal too much about where that might be just yet.
I think we're still, right in the 100 block of downtown around the library. I mean, it may not incorporate a new library in the first phase, but it will certainly be walking distance within the First Avenue corridor there. And, we probably, the current location, although we've been calling it temporary, realistically, that will probably matriculate into the technical aspect of the training, and then our permanent construction in that other end of the town will be academic.
Probably spread out across town, a couple
Sure.
locations, which makes perfect sense, for them to do that.
Just like any other urban campus, UAB or whatever, it's kind of spread out.
Kind of spread out.
Yeah, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, there's much smarter people than me, have made this work before. I just need to.
And we got buildings and property, in the area that are not being used, and so that why not put it to use? I'm in agreement with that.
And we can incorporate a little bit of community redevelopment in this same process. So you get a lot of pluses. I mean, you gain some people in town that may not have come to Oneonta for any other reason. You can redevelop some property. You gain some economic development there, and you gain some statewide notoriety that we are capable as a community, Oneonta, Blount County, because we have partnered with the county. The county school board, county government, the commission, have all been involved in these conversations as to how this benefits us as a community as Blount County.
Sure, yeah. So we got Wallace. We got Wallace going on. That's
we
good.
do. We got several businesses in the process of development. What I'm hearing from them is they're having a hard time finding enough people to do the work to get them open. Our architects are all just swamp busy. Engineers are busy. And these are good things. I mean, even the subcontractors that we had 5 years ago, we don't have as many out working. So it's very competitive for a construction site, and that'll catch up. It's a lag. It's a lag time right now, but I stand by my word. We'll have three new restaurants open by the end of the year, by Christmas. I made that statement, so I'm out there. My neck's out there.
Okay, wait a minute. Write that down. Okay, this sounds like a biscuit bet to me, right here.
And if you don't have it done, you're going to have to buy us breakfast. All right, that's the deal.
That's the deal.
That's our way of always trying to get breakfast around here.
Sure.
So can you give us, whatever you can say about them? Can you say what type of restaurants or what?
Well, Zaxby's. I mean, the signs are up for Zaxby's, and I'm in pretty much constant communication with them.
That's
Zaxby's,
exciting.
Yeah, that franchise is in super high demand.
Yeah.
They just opened the store in Springville. This is the same franchisee, the same contractor that'll build this store here. But corporate, kind of controls the schedule of where they go next. And Hoover. There's one in Hoover we're competing with right now. I mean, we want them to build ours next. Obviously, corporate gets to make that call, but we're lobbying hard. But nevertheless, you'll see some of that groundwork start to take place. Toke is the name of a restaurant who has signed a lease out in front of Walmart.
What's it called?
Toke.
Toke.
It's a Japanese sushi.
No.
Jeremy's in heaven.
This is the greatest day ever.
They're finishing renovations, extensive renovations inside the building, and their sushi bars, the refrigerated sushi prep areas were delivered last week.
That's your thing, isn't it?
So, I mean,
I love Zaxby's, but you're telling me Toke's probably going to be here earlier?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be camped out there. My wife is going to be. I'm going to be the man again at the house. You know what I mean? I'm going to come home random days with sushi. Oh my gosh.
Swamp Tales, they finalized their architectural drawings and structural steel drawings. I know that's the McCurry furniture building, and everybody says it just seems to be moving slow, and it has moved fairly slow, but I mean there's a lot of pre-thought to go into a restaurant because of the equipment lag time. There's a lot of stuff to order there and a lot of preliminary work, but once that comes together, I think you'll see that move relatively quickly.
Okay, I'm in the dark on this one.
That's the
Swamp
Cajun
Tales.
Seafood Steakhouse, Swamp Tales.
In the old McCurry building, down behind Ace Hardware.
Correct.
So that's going to be a restaurant as well.
It is.
Okay. So they gutted it and they're going to go completely from the ground up, basically.
Yeah.
What they're going to do there.
And it's
Cajun seafood place.
really neat architecture. Really, inside is a unique, and I want to commend that development team, and they're some local folks to putting that much forethought in their design process. I think it'll really be a showcase. Their intent is to have a destination restaurant. So people outside Oneonta, have
sounds like they're doing it.
They are doing it.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't know of another sushi place in Blount County. I mean, a real Japanese style, legitimate sushi place.
There are 2 restaurants, one in Gadsden, one in Guntersville, one in Fort Payne. This is their 3rd location. So this is not startup. They know what they're doing.
So that's good news.
So you're not a partaker of the sushi from the gas station?
No, I'm not a gas station sushi kind of guy. I'm just not. I like to go where you can see them making it.
It's a little iffy.
Yeah,
a little sketchy.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, so this is good. So we got Wallace coming. We got these new restaurants coming in.
Just quickly, I mean, we got Daylight Donuts. They're making process. They're essentially their internals are just about done.
So they are about to open.
They're legitimate.
I thought they were teasing us there for a while. They looked like about to open, and
yeah.
Pounders still on track. They've gotten some of their mechanicals in, and
now that's a fish place, isn't it?
That is a seafood place with a little different marketability. I mean, they offer things by the pound, hence the name Pounders. You want a pound of steamed shrimp, or things like that. So
cool.
I think that's going to be,
and we know the guys that are opening that downtown, so that's going to be cool.
And so something else, we got 2 subdivision applications this month. So prior to that, we had 1 in 5 years. So our housing market is seeing some interest, recovery.
Mm-hmm.
One of the new subdivisions has got about 24 lots in it. One of them is more of a retirement type setup, townhomes, patio homes. Mm-hmm. It's not quite as many.
That's for me,
Chris,
right there.
People that don't want to mow grass and just kind of want a leisurely lifestyle.
What else?
You're going to put the mansion up for sale, Chris, and start working your way toward the
shuffleboard area or something like that.
Yeah, I mean recreation. But yeah, I mean a lot of good things happening. A lot of people working to make those happen. But really, it's the community. We have such a quality of life here in the community. When it comes together, there's really no goal that's unattainable.
And by the way, when we ask you a question, before I say this, but when we ask you a question, you don't have to answer it, you know what I mean? Or you can, don't ever feel pressure here. We like for you just to feel at home and whatever, but just a random conversation. I'm thinking about that property down across from Walmart. Where because the city purchased that property, or is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so what do you think the long game is on that? What's your plan? What are your thoughts on it?
I guess just let me tell you where we're at currently. We have the sewer on site, which that's been a big deal to developers because that side of the road has not had sanitary sewer available. So that's a detriment to developing that. So we have done that. We also have submitted to ALDOT our permits for the entrances.
Okay.
And so, make a long story short, we're making that property more marketable to developers. Now, when I went to the ICSC conference, which is the largest retail and restaurant commercial development conference in the world, actually, that's what we pitched as a sales item. Everybody talks about you got to have product, regardless of what you're selling. You got to have the product to sell. So that is product, and just some things I can't really talk about.
Okay,
one I can. When I went, I had an appointment with Wendy's Hamburgers. I went to the booth, and they said, "Hey, we were just in y'all's community a week and a half ago." Nobody here knew it. They were here.
Just doing it on the down low.
They all have better demographic and data sources than we could ever hope to have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah, sure.
It's their profession. So we're getting a lot of looks now. There again, timing is everything. But we're making ourselves more marketable and more desirable. Yeah. And it's really economics. Nobody's coming unless they can make money.
Sure. I mean, that makes sense.
Anyhow, I don't know if I answered the question, but the intent of that, we have a master plan for retail development.
Right, like maybe a shopping plaza of some kind or something like that, maybe.
And maybe some bowling or, theater. I mean, we have that capability. There's enough land there to accommodate that.
That's one of the things we never quit screaming about is somebody for the love of all that's holy, somebody in this town open up a movie theater or a
bowling alley or whatever,
something for people to get to and do where they stay here in town. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Part of my appointments out in Vegas was with a bowling services provider, and a theater.
Nice.
So you just keep plugging.
Yeah.
You just keep telling them we're the best place for you to come next.
And you can't make them come. I mean, they've got to do their own research, and if it's good business for them, then they'll come.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I'm thrilled. I'm on Team Ed Lowe. I want you to know that. I mean, that's a thing.
We need to get T-shirts.
We need to get T-shirts that say Ed Lowe for president or whatever. Would you run for office? Like, would you run for president or anything?
No, I'm much better technically behind the snes. Let's let somebody that.
Well, I'm not feeling either of the candidates. So if I could just throw my support behind you.
Well, I'm extremely fortunate to have the elected group that I work with on the city and county level. All the boards in town. I mean, we just don't realize how fortunate we are.
We really are. So,
but I thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir.
Anytime, any questions, just give me a call. We'll be glad to come down.
You're a good man, Ed. Thanks for what you do.
It's great to get the state of the city in every once in a while. You come back more often, really.
Yeah, anytime you want to share something. Yeah. You're an open.
I come right by the Busy Bee in the mornings.
So
kind of throwing that out there.
Just throw that. Just Ed, get Ed to drop on his little biscuit. You know what I mean? Just on and say hello. Yeah, and say hello.
Yeah, we'll start a tab with Ed too.
We owe Ed. I'm sure everybody probably owes Ed in some way or another. So, all right, thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Ed.
That's Ed Lowe, Oneonta City Manager, giving us a tale of one city,
2 cities,
one county. Yeah. It's not it's not just a win for Oneonta. It's a win for Blount County, and we're grateful for it.
All right, quick tease for the next segment. Mm-hmm. Next segment: science reveals the ages at which you peak at everything.
This will be great.
Jeremy and Chris on Classic Hits 95.3.